In this episode, I go over my top 5 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, February 23rd, 2022. What's going on, everybody? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. This is the episode where I go over my top 5 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, February 23rd, 2022. So if you're here for that, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and yeah, gonna get right into this list. Again, I like to do a couple of honorable mentions before I get into my exact top 5, and of course, towards the end, I will give my cover buy of the week. So getting into this, a couple of honorable mentions. The first one I do want to note is Radio Apocalypse. It's not in my top 5 this week. It was in my top 5 last week. It got pushed back. I'm not going to throw it back in there again, but it's certainly a book I am very excited for. But just know that there's been a lot of delays with this. It's a book written by Ron V. I'm not sure what's going on with the print or whatever the deal is, but hopefully we get this issue this week coming up because I'm really excited for issue number 2. The other ones I wanted to mention here, Department of Truth. I have actually been a little behind on this, so this is issue 16. I have not started the new story arc yet, so it really was 14 that it kicked off on, so I have a little catching up to do, but really enjoy Department of Truth as a whole, the series just generally speaking, so excited for that. Eventually we'll sit down and just kind of binge through and catch up on that. The other one I wanted to note here was DC versus Vampires issue number 5. I've really been enjoying that series as well. Didn't quite make the top 5, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. And of course, Harley Quinn issue number 12, which Stephanie Phillips has been killing it with this series. It is kind of starting a new story arc, so again, not the main reason why I didn't make the top 5, but it is definitely up there in terms of something I will be checking out for sure. And of course, Riley Rossmo back on the artwork with that, so I'm really excited. So those are just some honorable mentions that I wanted to mention. But now I want to get into the top 5 picks. And again, these are the books that I am most excited for, books that I'm looking forward to reading as they first come out. Very curious of your thoughts. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you have any recommendations or if you disagree with some of the lists that you see here, would love to hear some of the books that you're reading and maybe some of the ones that might not be on my radar. And of course, take a moment to say a quick hello to the premiere chat right now. Everybody that's here live right now, thank you so much. Again, these videos premiere every Thursday at 12:30 Eastern, so appreciate everybody spending some time and watching this video here on your lunch break or breakfast, or depending where you are. All right, let's get into the list here. So coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with Bolero, issue number 2. This was a fantastic first issue that I had read a few weeks ago when it came out. The writer here, Wyatt Kennedy, along with the artist Luana Vecchio. Fantastic read. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a love story with a twist that definitely gets into some strange futuristic outer space type of vibes. I guess I'll kind of put it like that. But I know there are some specific rules that we had learned a little bit about, and I'm just going to read again the series premiere, kind of the write out here. It says, a woman running away from her broken heart discovers a mother key into parallel universes. The rules are the key can work at any door. The mother will only let you visit 53 universes. This is where it gets wild. Do not speak to the mother and never hop more than 53 times. So it is definitely what seems to be a wild trip. And again, the thing I really appreciated most from the first issue of Bolero was essentially the setup, right? Just getting the character build and getting an understanding for this, as it mentions, the love story that we first see. And it really just made you care about the characters. I think that it was really well done. And then, like I said, second half of the book, it kind of really flips the switch. And you get into this whole other world, or like, this key, this parallel universe that she can travel through now. So really interesting stuff. And if it sounds like something that it might be for you, I would say definitely check out issue number 1 and be ready for this week coming up as issue number 2 of Bolero is coming out. So that's going to be my number 5 pick of the week right there. Also, like I mentioned before, the artwork by Luana Vecchio was fantastic in this book. I really enjoyed that as well. So another reason to highlight that. So definitely up there for my top 5 pick of the week. Let's see, going into number 4, I'm going to go with Robin, issue number 11. This has been another really great series, and one that I didn't think I'd love as much as I am currently. I've never read anything about Damian Wayne before. I know previously in some of these other videos I have talked about, recommendations, if anybody has any recommendations out there for reading more on Damian Wayne, because I really like his character just based on this series, what I've been learning so far. So last issue, we got a really nice recap of, or kind of a flashback of Mother Soul, and kind of getting an understanding of her tie-in to Robin and the history of his family and all this other stuff. The artwork was fantastic. It was by Roger Cruz, which was a little bit of a switch, because I know now here on this next issue, Gleb Melnovic, he's actually back on the series. But shout out to Roger Cruz, the artist for last issue, was fantastic. And nothing against Gleb. Gleb's been fantastic too. He's been the majority of this series, actually. So, but I'm just kind of thinking back to issue 10. And so yeah, it was kind of a pause within the story, again, to kind of get a glimpse of Mother Soul, who she really is, and kind of the history that she has. And I loved it. I really enjoyed that issue. So that is why I'm putting Robin issue number 11 on my list at number 4, because it has been really, really good. And again, we had this whole recap of this big tournament, the hype of the build up to that, and then the actual tournament itself. Now we're kind of getting past the tournament, now that we've seen the results and kind of where that led to, and I'm very curious to see where this goes from here. So if you've never given a shot to Damian Wayne, this Robin, I definitely recommend it. It's been a really fun read, and of course it's being written by Joshua Williamson, who's currently on Batman right now, amongst other DC books or titles. But yeah, surprised how much I'm enjoying this, and that's why it's on the top of, or it's the top 5 of my list. So that's going to be my number 4 pick of the week, Robin issue number 11. Going into my number 3 pick, I'm going to switch it up here. I had a hard time with these because, these top 4, already the honorable mentions, I listed a lot of books, right? So this week in general has just been fantastic. It's going to be fantastic, just like every week's been for comic books. So I'm trying to mix it up here a little bit, go back and forth with Marvel and DC. We had some indie titles with Bolero that I mentioned at number 5. We talked Robin, DC, number 4. So I'm going to switch it up, go back to Marvel here for a second, and for my number 3 pick, and go with X Deaths of Wolverine, issue number 3. And let me just clarify that this easily could be number 1. Just saying. This series has been fantastic, especially the idea that Hickman has been gone now, and the creators that are continuing to go on with these X titles have continued on with the story that we kind of left off from Inferno, which is where Hickman had, his final writing, his final ideas. I don't know how the creators now are taking that, if they're taking pieces of his ideas on purpose, or if they're just kind of rewriting things as they go, or what the plan necessarily is. But I think, at least for this series, it's being really well done. And of course, Benjamin Percy is on the writing here for this. The artist Federico Vicentini, I don't know if I'm murdering it. It's been fantastic. It's been a really great series. And again, if you appreciated what has been going on with Moira and just the overall story arc that Hickman had left off in Inferno, then this is a perfect jumping on point to continue with that story arc, and specifically this series. There's 2 series going on right now. There's X Lives of Wolverine and X Deaths of Wolverine. I guess the idea overall is that the 2 of these are going to meet, and very much like House of X, Powers of 10, how those were each 6 issues, but they kind of mixed and mingled as they each came out. That's, I think anyways, is my understanding, is that how these Wolverine issues are going to go. So X Lives of Wolverine, that book, which has been coming out every other week compared to this one, that one focuses a little bit more of what's been going on from the original Wolverine series that Percy's done. I think X-Force, it ties in some of those story arcs as well, and maybe another X title that I'm not thinking of at the moment. But either way, that's X of Lives, and then X of Death is, or X Deaths of Wolverine is more focused on Moira, her story, and just getting more of a glimpse into that portion of what was going on with the team and Krakoa and things like that. So again, I think the 2 of them are going to kind of merge. large, but we are essentially halfway through now. This is going to be issue 3 of 5. I know that they're doing 5 issues for both of these Wolverine series, so keep an eye out for that. But this is definitely a fantastic read so far. Really enjoying it. And another thing to point out, and I was talking to my buddy Jason over at Claiming Comics about this, the X deaths of Wolverine. Actually, not even X deaths, but a lot of the X titles, really ever since Hickman, they've become very dark. A lot of them have gotten darker and darker, a little bit more gorier, a little bit more, I don't know, maybe even like a horror type of vibe, you know, just definitely adult, and definitely, we'll say vicious, especially Wolverine, right? Perfect for that. So, yeah, definitely enjoying this. And if you're not caught up, you should take time to get caught up before you dive into this. You might have questions if you just randomly jump into this, but otherwise, it has been fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's why it's number 3 on the list. Like I said, it easily could be number 1, but there's some other ones that I'm going to list off here, and you'll see why. So that's my number 3 pick of the week, the X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 3. Going into number 2, and man, this is really tough. Just looking at this cover again, I am talking about the Human Target issue number 5. Greg Smallwood has stolen my heart. His artwork has just been so damn good. I don't know if you've read this before, if you haven't, if you've been catching up on some of these, even if you just look at the cover A's, those are the covers that Greg Smallwood has been doing. They're absolutely fabulous. The interior, just mind-blowing. It is so beautiful. It is making me fall in love with these characters even more. And of course, it's written by Tom King. And Tom King, who, by the way, just did the finale of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I talked about it last week, and did a phenomenal job. And actually, to note, and a little plug here, me and Copy 801, maybe Copy's in the chat right now, but Copy 801 and I, we are going to be breaking down Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow on Friday, meaning tomorrow. If you're watching this Thursday as this premieres, we'll be breaking that down Friday evening at 10 o'clock Eastern here on this very channel. So excited for that. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here because I'm talking about Tom King. And so yes, Tom King, he is writing this, The Human Target, and it has just been a phenomenal read. I actually was just going through issue 4 again and really enjoying this. It is what I think what I love most about it is that it's not a superhero book. It certainly includes a lot of different heroes and villains as well, but it's not a superhero book. It's really more of like a murder mystery, like a noir murder mystery, and it has to do with this guy right here, Christopher Chance, who I don't know anything about, didn't know anything about, the Human Target. I know he's not a new character. I know he's been around for a while, but I knew nothing about him otherwise. But apparently one of his things that he does is he kind of becomes the target of, you know, when someone is trying to assassinate someone else, those people pay him to basically take that hit. And he does it in a way where obviously he survives. So the twist with this particular series in general is the fact that whoever it is was trying to kill Lex Luthor, and he initially had taken a bullet, taken a bullet. He had protection on for Lex Luthor, but as he's kind of recapping the night, and this is all issue 1, he actually gets poisoned. And he gets poisoned in a way where it's a slow death. He actually has 12 days essentially to live. And in those 12 days, it's kind of what we're getting broken down. Like each book is a day. And I believe there's 12 issues that are coming out altogether for this miniseries. So it's really cool. And actually, even on the back cover here, you can see the days being marked off. So this was issue 4 that I'm showing here. So this is day 4 that we're seeing. And another thing that I like about it is every issue, they're kind of going through these steps of introducing these characters, these superheroes that have been part of the DC universe for, I'm assuming, a very long time. Ones that I'm not very familiar with, but it is giving me a glimpse into learning a little bit about some of these other characters. Like in issue 2, we get to meet Ice, who I had no idea who that was. And I had to look up the Justice League, the JLI International. And then on top of that, from there, which, by the way Greg Smallwood draws Ice is just absolutely stunning. I'm in love, absolutely in love. The other thing is then, like issue 3, we got Booster Gold, who I didn't really know much about. In this issue 4, we get Beetle, who I don't know anything about Beetle either. Correction, that is Blue Beetle, not Beetle, but Blue Beetle. But he's really funny, really entertaining, and like super hyper. I guess kind of like how I am right now, the way I'm talking to the camera. But from that, we are getting issue 5, which again, just looking at this cover right here, I do see the Martian Manhunter. So I'm assuming we're going into that direction a little bit. But again, each issue is breaking down kind of his recap of trying to figure out who was it that poisoned him, essentially, and why were they going after Lex Luthor? What was the deal with that? And he's like I said, it's like a murder mystery. So I'm in love with it. Really enjoying the series. It really should be number one. It's so great, and the artwork. Let me just flip through. I mean, I think I did this last time too, but some of the artwork in this, and let me get some of the close-ups here. So like some of the artwork here, just absolutely fantastic. Again, without any like spoilers or anything, but I mean, I absolutely love what Greg Smallwood is doing here with this. So yeah, really, really good stuff. I love the coloring, the detail, and everything. So yeah, there's another one right there. Nice splash page. So yes, that is why this is my number 2 pick of the week, the Human Target issue number 5. If you're not reading it, if you never heard of Human Target, if you're not a fan of DC, it doesn't matter. I highly recommend checking this out. You don't need to read anything prior to this. You can just jump into issue 1. And I think that's why I'm really liking DC right now, I have to say. Overall, DC's really taken over a lot of what I've been reading. And I know Sove Collector, amongst others, joke and tease me about it, calling me a DC guy nowadays as I wear my X-Men shirt here. Yeah, I'm very new to DC and the characters, like I said, diving into stuff like this. But I think that's why I like it so much, is that it reads like an indie title. Not needing to know the characters, just diving in for the first time and just still being able to enjoy the read for what it is. So that is why I've been really into a lot of the DC stuff lately. And quite opposite, I mean, with things like the X titles, it is tough for new readers to get into the X titles without going back and reading all the different X titles to kind of get caught up in the story. Just saying. And again, I love my X-Men. Don't get me wrong, but it is harder to get into some of that stuff. So anyways, I can't recommend this enough. Human Target issue number 5. I've already talked way too long about it. Okay, let's, before I get into this last one here, I'm going to show a little clip here. So, and again, I just mentioned my man, Sove Collector, aka Michael. So here's the clip.
Hello, folks, and happy Thursday. Are your friends reading DC, Image, indie titles, and you're just sick of it? Feel like no one's interested in Marvel anymore? Well, welcome to Michael's Marvel Spotlight, where it's always Marvel all the time. And I've got a pick of the week. Ghost Rider number 1 by Benjamin Percy and Corey Smith. I'm really hoping it's going to be one hell of a ride. Well, I've already pre-ordered the main cover. I've pre-ordered 24 variant covers. And you know I love this character. So I'm really hoping that it's going to be good. And I really hope you all enjoy it too. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on Instagram. And hey, Justin, have a great Thursday. Bye-bye.
And boom, there you have it. My man Michael showing off his pick of the week with a nice little play on words there with Ghost Rider going into hell there. I love it. I love it. I love it. And yeah, he sent me that the other night. It was great. It was right on point. He's always busting my chops about, not enough Marvel. Let's get some more Marvel love in there. And I agree, man. I mean, I definitely want to take more time to read more Marvel as well. Just trying to figure out my balance in all of this. But yeah, I appreciate the suggestion or the recommendation, I should say, Michael, and I will definitely put some Ghost Rider on my list for you, my friend. I will do that for you. So I'll check that out. But yeah, so other than that, and again, before I get into my number 1, if anyone's just joining, before I get in my number 1 pick, again, make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you're in the premiere chat right now, thank you so much for hanging. Take a moment to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this list so far. If there's anything you think I missed, if there's anything you agree with, disagree with, or have recommendations of your own, would love to hear about them more. But yeah, other than that, I do have Comic Collector Origins coming up this Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern, and I'll be interviewing my good friend Fable, Station Fable, one collector down. Really, really, really excited to talk to Fable about his origin story, and looking forward to that. So definitely check that out, 2 o'clock Eastern. And then also, I mentioned earlier, Friday night with a copy 801 here on the channel. We will be talking Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. We'll do our whole breakdown of it, the finale and everything. So hopefully you're caught up to that. Maybe you can join us for that as well. Otherwise, Sunday morning, I am also going to be doing a live Lego build here on the channel. So if you're interested in that, I actually have, you can see a couple pieces of Lego behind me. So me and a few friends are going to be just hanging out and building Lego. So if you're interested, swing by the chat, say hello. I've been on this random Lego kick for a while. I have random Lego bags everywhere. So yeah, it's really not good. But anyways, other than that, yeah, a lot of stuff in the works. And then also Sunday night, I will be streaming on Instagram with Fable again. Gonna have a lot of fun on the Blame Fable show. So make sure you check us out over on Instagram if you're not already following us over there. I think those are all this weekend's gonna be a lot of things going on. And I will say Lady No Good is not going to, she's actually going away for the weekend. So that's where I have some extra time where I'm going to be able to do a little bit more streaming over the weekend. So hopefully you're ready to see a little bit more No Good comics here over the weekend. But anyways, let's get into my number one pick because I've been rambling now for a while. And I'm going to go into it. My number one pick has to go to Tom Taylor's Dark Ages issue number 5. We are moving and grooving in this series, and I have to say, I feel like issue 5 took a while. I don't know if there was a delay or what the deal was, but either way, this story has been so epic. And again, shout out to you, Michael Sove Collector. Here's some Marvel for you at my number 1 on the list. And of course, like I said, Tom Taylor. Love Tom Taylor. Love what he's doing. And the artwork in this, Ivan Coelho, he's been fantastic as well. I've also been starting to pick up some of his covers as he's been putting them out too. So just some awesome stuff overall. And yeah, Dark Ages is just an epic. I think it's 6 issues altogether. This is issue 5, so it's a 6-issue miniseries that's kind of all contained on its own. No prior reading necessary to this, and there are a ton of characters, just a ton of characters that they've kind of meshed together. It's called the Dark Ages because in the story we're kind of living in the Dark Ages. It's the future, and bad guys have really taken over, and it's you know, a lot of the good guys are gone. A lot of the good guys are not around. And I've said this before, but it definitely gives me like Infinity War type of vibes, at least the first issue, like the way you read into it. Really loving it. Tom Taylor doing a great job of this. And yeah, like I said, a ton of characters. So if you're looking for Marvel, if you're looking for all the different characters involved in Marvel, from the Avengers to the X-Men, Inhumans are listed here. There's a ton. Doctor Doom, so on and so forth. So it's really great stuff and very epic. Very epic. So that is going to be my number 1 pick on the week, Dark Ages issue number 5. If you haven't been reading, I highly recommend. It's obviously, it's number 1 on my list. So go back, read issue 1, go right through to 5, and get ready for 6 next month because it's going to be here before you know it. So that is my list, my top 5 picks of the week. And again, remember, these are books coming out next week, April. Man, that's twice. Last week I messed that up too. February 23rd, 2022. But don't go away yet. I also want to show you guys my cover pick of the week, or my cover buy of the week. This is the book that, regardless of if I'm reading it or not, it's on my list to buy because I'm in love with the art and I want to have it in my collection. Luckily, this particular choice that I'm going with today is a book that I'm reading, and it's already a book I talked about, and it is this beautiful X Deaths of Wolverine, issue number 5. This variant is a Christian Ward variant, and it just obviously stood out to me. Kind of reminded me of the, what do you call it? The what's the word? Kind of reminded me of the negative space variant. It reminded me of the negative space variant from JTC, John Tyler Christopher. Just the yellow, kind of what they call the banana Wolverine cover, right? It kind of reminds me of that. It's certainly a lot more futuristic, and obviously goes with this story. If you've been reading this, you know what I'm talking about. And seeing this Omega level type of, you know, mutant that we don't really know a lot going on still. We're trying to figure out what exactly is going on, but obviously Wolverine here. Yeah, definitely in love with this cover. And I don't think it's a 1 in 25 or anything like that. I think this is just, yeah, no, this is ooh, there is a really nice 1 in 25 by David Nakayama as well, though, anime style. It's a nice one too. But no, I'm going to go with Christian Ward. That's going to be my cover buy of the week. And let me know. I'm very curious. Do you buy books just for their cover sometimes? Does that happen to you, or is that just me? I don't think it's just me. I think that some people are doing the same thing, and that's completely okay, because at the end of the day, I'm in this for the art just as much as the story, and I'm in love with this art right here, so I'm all about it. And luckily, like I said, it's part of the books that I'm currently reading, the series that I'm reading, so definitely works out there. So anyways, that is my cover buy of the week. That is my top 5 picks of the week for next week, coming out February 23rd, 2022. Again, everybody in the Premiere chat, thanks so much for hanging out. Smash that like button on the way out, and I will talk to you later.